Hello, Dr. Hayes. This is Margarita Solis from your Leadership in Ministry class. I am a distance education student, and I'm here with co-founder and director of the Westside Pregnancy Center in El Paso, Texas, Deb Gray. Hi, Deb.
Hello there, Margarita.
Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit and tell us a little bit about the Westside Pregnancy Center, please?
Yes, my name is Deb Gray. I'm the CEO and the Executive Director of Westside Pregnancy Center, and I also had the honor of being a co-founder. And we started everything about 7 years ago. In this December, we're getting ready to celebrate our 5th anniversary of being open. We provide resources for pregnant women and help counsel unplanned pregnancies. And it's just an honor to be part of the Pregnancy Center, and very honored to be here with you today.
Thank you, Deb. So I have a few questions, Deb, regarding leadership. And we're going to start with the first one. I gave you a copy as well, so you could just follow along. First and foremost, how did you get started on this leadership journey?
Well, it was totally the Lord's hand in this. I had been a youth director for 44 years and the youth director here at Westside Community Church. And we saw a huge need for a pregnancy center on the west side of El Paso due to the abortion clinic being 3 miles from our doorstep. It was just, we thought it was a terrible situation to have the girls right at the pregnancy or the abortion clinic and have no place to send them that was close. So we just started building the pregnancy center, and I can see the Lord's hand in everything, the way my life from being abandoned when I was 6 years old to being in youth ministry, working with at-risk girls for all those years, how the Lord had his hand in bringing me into the leadership of the pregnancy center.
What challenges have you faced in your leadership, and how have you overcome them?
Some of the challenges are having enough volunteers. We're seeing a huge increase in abortion-minded girls and abortion vulnerable. With the economy being where prices are so expensive, we're seeing a huge increase in the amount of families that need our support with baby items. Mm-hmm. Donations are kind of low right now. We always face it during the summers because ladies' Bible studies are out from churches, and ladies' Bible studies really help us get the word out and do diaper drives for us. So the other day, within a 2.5-hour period, we saw 22 families. And again, we've just seen like a 650% increase with the families needing our support. The way I've overcome it, again, everything through prayer. Mm-hmm. And God just shows up at the time that exactly when we need him. Mm-hmm. So it's starting to increase again with the donations now that everybody's kind of settled back into churches and in their Bible study groups.
Awesome. How do you continue growing as a leader?
I am blessed to be surrounded by an awesome board. And there's a lot of training, and there's different places for me to go. One of the things that we're seeing an increase in is sex trafficking through our center, and domestic abuse. Just yesterday, I went to an FBI training, and we talked about sex trafficking, how to identify girls that are in trouble. So I definitely network with other pastors in the community, and right now the FBI, they are partnering with us in a very special way.
Awesome. Do you have a vision statement for your organization, and how did you develop that vision statement?
We have a mission statement and a vision statement. And that when we first founded the Pregnancy Center, this was all kind of new to us. So we did reach out to our affiliates, where we have pro-life affiliates that we work with, CareNet, Heartbeat International, NIFLA, Preborn. Our board took a 3-day just extensive time to be in prayer and to really try to put down on paper what we felt the Lord's heart was, and revision. And I think I'd like to share it with you, and send that to you, but I think we have a pretty good one that just encompasses everything that we feel the Lord has laid out before us.
Awesome. Do you have the support of your family? And has your leadership taken a toll on your family? If so, how have you dealt with that?
I have been blessed with a very supportive family. I wouldn't be able to do this. God has a season and he has a plan for our life. And being the youth ministry, that your whole family is kind of involved when you're in ministry. But the Lord knew that I had to pour into my family when they were at home. And when they flew the coop and I became an empty nester is really when the Lord opened up the pregnancy center for me. And those girls became my babies. They became my daughters.
That's
true.
And
if I didn't have a supportive husband, I would not be able to do this, because you're never off.
True.
It's 24/7. Especially we're on the hotline to provide the abortion pill reversal. And there's such a small window after they've taken the abortion pill that we want to be available 24/7.
Wow.
And if you don't have a supportive family, it can cause friction within your marriage or with your kids. But
for sure.
I have a daughter that is in town, and she is very supportive of the ministry, and she used to be my office manager. So you definitely, God just provides you the right people and at the right time.
Yes. Next step, how do you handle criticism?
My early part of my ministry, I did not handle criticism very well. My self-esteem was very, very poor and very low because of being abandoned when I was 6 years old, being raised by my grandparents. But I'm 62. I just turned 62. And the Lord does mature you through fire and storms and trials. And I am much thicker skinned than I used to be. And I know that I have special people around me that hold me accountable. And sometimes I step back after they share wisdom or criticism. And instead of reacting, I step back and I pray. And I'm like, Lord, I know you have a lesson in this. I'm not completely 100% there, but you do grow up in the Lord, and you're able to handle and try to apply it the best way to your life and know that he's trying to teach you and grow you.
Yes. Next, are there moments that you have wanted to quit? If so, how do you deal with that, and what convinces you to stay?
There's been so many times, not necessarily that I want to quit, but if this is the position that he really wanted me to be in. And that's when your self-doubt and self-fear comes in. Lord, I keep saying, Lord, are you sure that I'm the person that you have for this job? I'm so inadequate. I am not qualified. But there's a saying that he qualifies the unqualified, that you just, with your whole heart and soul, you just lean into the Lord. And when I'm facing those doubts, and I'm thinking, Lord, somebody else would be much better in my position, the Lord always brings somebody that has a word for me, or he confirms, and he just supports and affirms that I'm exactly in the center of his will.
So that would answer the last part of that question. What convinces you to stay is that confirmation that he gives you.
I am surrounded with the most godly, beautiful people. And I had even somebody I hadn't seen for years come into my office, and he says, I need to talk to you. He said, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And don't let Satan whisper lies into your ear. And especially in the middle of the night when I'm praying and thinking about things, Satan likes to jump on my shoulder and say, who do you think you are? But to quiet that voice, and he sends people just to give me his word. And I treasure that. And of course, through His Word, keeping in the Word and my daily time with the Lord, it gets me refocused and to try to cancel out all the crazy noise in the world and just focus in on Him.
Thank you, Deb. Next, do you have someone who holds you accountable? And you kind of touched up on that.
I have a lot of people that hold me accountable. Of course, there are pastors at my church and my board. I'm very transparent, and they lead me, and they do every once in a while have some criticisms or things that we need to work on, and I lead a Bible study for senior citizens. I'm a senior citizen, but these ladies are in their 80s, and they hold me very much accountable.
Wow.
And I appreciate their wisdom, their maturity, and they love me like a daughter, and I value that. And they are very bluntly honest, and they do keep me accountable.
Do you I guess along with this question, because we were reading a book on leadership by John C. Maxwell, and he talks about accountability and how it's not just telling the person, oh, I did this, this and this and that, but it's asking before you take a decision, going and talking to that person. Do you believe that you have that relationship with those ladies?
Absolutely. You sometimes, when you're in the thick of it, you only see one dimension. And when I go to my little ladies, they'll say, well, let's look at it from different perspectives. Let's take in all the different details, and because when you're so involved and you're in the middle of it and your emotions, and let me tell you, there's a spiritual battle, and there's emotions run really high in this job, because you see abused women, you see sex trafficking, you see a little bit of everything, that you get so emotional and you just get so tunnel vision that you really need godly women to really just talk it through and let them show you different points of view. It really does help.
Wow, that's beautiful. How do you take your team to the top? How do you mentor and develop future leaders?
I think there's several things that we do well, several things that we need to work on. But I've tried to, and you can't do it in every situation, every environment. We're kind of different, being a faith-based, ministry, that I want to cultivate an environment and a culture of family, that we really do care about each other. And that starts with daily prayer with each other, and a devotion, and just sharing again. And we have to have that bond again because of the spiritual warfare. And Satan likes to creep up and cause division. And the first thing that Satan does with any situation is he tears down communication. And that's the one thing that we really need to keep on the same level, and with each other, is our communication. And again, just really, we care about each other, we care about their families, and we care about each and every client that comes through. And again, we pour everything that we have into our clients, and it takes a toll, and we definitely need each other.
Yes. How do you and your team handle change, failure, and victories?
The hardest thing, and again, we have to lean on each other, and everything, we rely first on the Lord for everything. And our challenges, and the hardest thing is when we know a girl that has been abortion minded, and she leaves and she goes back to the abortion clinic. It's one of the hardest things that we have for each other, or that we have to go through.
Right.
And that's when we really need each other, and that's when we just kind of get on our hands and knees and we just pray that the Lord changes the heart of the girls. So that's, that's a special bond between us, because not a lot of people share that experience. So that's why we need each other.
Right. And lastly, can you please share some of your leadership rewards?
Oh goodness, yes.
I think that's the best question.
Yes. I'll give just a couple examples.
Okay.
I could go on for quite a while, but I truly feel that God has put together, we call it God's dream team, because He has hand chosen each lady and each man that is here. And I tell you, the first time that a mama brought her baby back, that she was thinking about aborting, and placed that baby in my arms.
Wow. Oh, wow.
There's not quite a feeling like that. And from a leader position or looking on this, we had a family that was in dire need, that had just crisis after crisis hit them, and their name was shared with me. And you know how in Batman he puts out the bat signal? Well, I've changed that to I put out the cross signal. And I put it out to our volunteers that this family was really, really struggling, and just their need was so great. And once I put out the cross signal, they all just came together to love on this family through food, material, support, and we're even going to have a little baby shower because they've lost everything. And that's one of the greatest rewards, to see the body of Christ coming together and truly be the hands and feet and the heart of Jesus. And to hold that baby that was bound for abortion, and that you get to just hold it and love on it. It doesn't get much better than that.
Right. Thank you, Deb. I believe those are all the questions. I don't know if you want to add anything regarding your leadership up to now, or any words of wisdom that you have for the students.
No matter what you go through in life, and this is what I found, and I can look back again, I keep referring back to when I was left by my parents. And I look back, and that 6-year-old girl didn't understand what was going on. But I can look back and see, and I know this may sound strange, but God had a plan for that. That if I hadn't gone through that, and everybody has a point in their life where you're going to choose to be the victim and to harbor those feelings, or you're going to choose to go with the Lord and let Him make a victory out of it. I can see now that since I handed it over to the Lord, that He very much had that as kind of the foundation for my ministry now. Because when a girl comes in here saying, I feel unloved, unwanted, unworthy, I can tell you that there's hope in the future in Jesus Christ.
Right.
Because I've been there.
Right.
And never let those struggles or things that you're going through in life think that they can beat you down, because God has a plan. He will make you a leader using all those struggles that you've went through. You'll be a better leader.
Wow. I get goosebumps with that.
So thank you.
Thank you
so much. God bless you.
Thank you, Deb. Hey, Dr. Hayes, this is Margarita, and that concludes the interview with Deb Gray, the director of the Westside Pregnancy Center in El Paso, Texas.